Hello, purpose driven career leaders. My name is Kori Burkholder, founder of Purpose Driven Career Accelerator program. And I am here today with Cynthia, who is a participant in the program. And we wanted to connect today to talk about her experience in the program and tell us about herself and the results that she has achieved so far. So I'm super excited to connect with you again because we haven't seen each other in so long. So, Cynthia,
Um,
tell us about yourself and what it is that you do.
so I work for a beauty company right now and I do their marketing. So I'm the marketing coordinator and I do partnerships with influencers, celebrities, to try to bring in customers.
So awesome.
Big change.
Well, we're getting to why it's so awesome, but so could you tell us what you were struggling or feeling frustrated about when you reached out to us for help?
Yeah. So when I began, I was kind of like going back and forth with customer service positions, just like straight from out of school, and just finding positions that like were jobs that were going to like pay, but not pay great and not really like have a purpose. So I was like from job to job doing kind of the same thing and not really like expanding on my career, not really sure what I even wanted to do. And then also just bartending on the side. And I think I was just kind of like focused on the money from bartending and then just like having a daytime position that was like enough. But I started feeling like I was pretty miserable in the professional aspect of my life. And I was like looking for more, I guess, like acknowledgement, and I knew that I wasn't doing the most that I could be doing.
Mm. And how long had you been struggling with that?
So I would say like 3 years now, or it was 3 years. So out of school in 2017 and then 2020 was still kind of doing the same thing.
Mm. Okay, great. Yeah, so that's why you reached out.
Mm.
So can you tell us, you just kind of shared with us where you were before you started the program. So can you share with us, we'll just fast forward, we've been working together about 6 months, right? So where are you now?
Now I am, like I said, doing the marketing for my company. I am on the side doing makeup. I have clients now, more and more than I had last year. And I'm working on a networking agency,
Mm,
um, to try to have freelancers have a space to network so that if they don't go to school, they don't have that opportunity, they have a place to share and use each other for whatever it is that they need for their artistic needs.
hmm. So can you tell us, part of the process, like how did you get from where you were then, right? In terms of our process together, what really made the most impact for you to get to where you are right now, do you think?
So I think like the internal work, the stuff that, so when you think of like being a professional, you don't necessarily look internally into like, well, not everyone, but I was not looking personally and seeing like what makes me feel happy and what makes me feel fulfilled in my personal life. So once like we kind of started doing that and looking into like the things that I really enjoyed growing up and the things that make me feel fulfilled, that's when I was able to take those and apply them to
Mm,
what I could do in a professional sense as well. And I would there was a gap there before that I didn't even think was possible to have personal and professional align that well.
mhm. Yeah, a lot of people have that belief. It's, they think like, I love doing this, but I can't do that. I have to be miserable over here in my job. And I think you're talking about the interests and passions work that we did specifically.
Yeah.
And then when we combine that with skills, I think that a lot of ideas popped, and that kind of helped you get to that community that you're really wanting to build. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So what do you think are the three biggest tangible results that you're taking away from this program and this process that we had together?
So a new position, of course, was the biggest takeaway, and not being a position that I've ever been in before, and actually finding that it was something that I wanted to do.
Mhm.
Um, my new salary, which is more than I've been making before, ever, even with multiple jobs combined. um, and then I think like a lot of that personal work kind of turned into, although it was for my professional life, it kind of changed my personal life as well for the better. Like we had an exercise like rating parts of our life, like I don't know, our social life and our family life and exercise and stuff. And those were things that I was like focused on, but not like so focused on. And I think having a tangible result of like actually physically feeling and looking different, because I was able to focus and realize that that was not something that I was doing. I think that alongside the salary and new position are tangible things.
Yeah. And I think we did a lot of work internally. So, I mean, internally within the company. So at first, you didn't, you always knew that you wanted to stay there, right? You just didn't know kind of where. So you wanted to explore within the company. Um, so kind of, you did a lot of work there. So can you share a little bit about how you did that?
Yeah. So the company I found through a tweet, and I was kind of surprised to see that that's where like I was able to find it. And I was just scrolling on Twitter at the time. So I got like into the temp position, and then later they brought me on full time. So I did my best in the temp position. They brought me on full time, and then I began to just reach out to like anyone that like just anyone in the company, and have coffee meetings with them, and just talk about what they do, like what it would take to be somebody in that position, like what they look for. And I think the interest, like just them seeing interest helped a lot. Um, and then I started writing down any small bit of like a success story that I had within my job. So like if I did something that week that like I was proud of, even if it was small, I wrote it down.
Mhm.
Um, and then when it came time for like my mid-year review, I was able to present that information and then use that for leverage for a raise, and then from the raise to a promotion.
Yeah, and Cynthia worked really, really hard because you had your ears and eyes open for opportunities within, and so you saw these different opportunities arise, and because you had those coffee meetings months before, and you were getting, in the Slack channel, you were being very active because
Mhm.
you were trying to get visibility,
Yeah,
and you
definitely.
got that visibility, and people were getting to know you, and so when this opportunity came, you're like, I'm going over there.
Yeah.
And you had the meeting and you applied and you did a thorough job on the homework that just to get that, um, the interview, right? And then it was three interviews.
It was 3 exams, I'm sorry, 2 1 exam, 1 project, and 4 interviews. And it was so 6 rounds total. And I later found out that it was close to like 20 people internally who applied for the position. Um, yeah, it was a process.
It was a process, but you knew exactly what you wanted, and you went for it, and you put 110% of your energy into that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she got it. So like it was such a big moment
Oh,
when I got that email. You're like, I got the
and you called me immediately like, "Yes."
job.
That's great.
Yeah, so super proud of you. So what was, something surprising that you weren't expecting to get out of the experience working together?
I wasn't expecting to have like a business of my own that I'm working on. Like I was more expecting like, am I going to go back to school? Am I going to find a career that I want to like start applying for different jobs. Like I wasn't really expecting to start my own thing and like use my own skills and like passions to create my own like the collective. And again, like the personal stuff as far as like just like paying attention to my health and other things like that. Like if you don't, pay attention to the other aspects of your life, well, for me personally, I wasn't paying attention as much. I was just so focused on like getting a new job and not really like going in depth and doing the work behind it. But I
Mm,
think realizing all of those personal things about myself, like those helped a lot.
mm. Yeah, and it just sparked my memory with the collective. You actually use that as leverage in your interviews.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
passion project, you had that going and you were able to leverage that
Yeah.
and impress them.
Yes, exactly. And then recently, so the whole like reasoning behind like wanting to do the collective was having a place for people to come together to network. And then right now with COVID, it's not really possible to have like networking events the way that I want to. But eventually I wanted to own like a restaurant or a bar and like have that space also be part of that network. And I actually started looking at properties for a space,
Wow.
um, which wasn't really part of the plan, but it's like it's going well, and we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, and this is just another example of how, you can fuse your passions and your background because you have the bartending background. You love the nightlife and the socializing, and so it kind of this is how it fused your passions in with your future career because that's the 3-year vision, right?
Yeah,
3 to 5 year vision. So super exciting. Wow, I didn't even know you were
I
looking.
know. I was gonna surprise you.
You're
um,
inspiring me. Um, so yeah, so what's next for you? What are you working towards at the moment now?
so right now, there isn't really like a formal training with the new position. It's kind of just gradually gaining responsibility. So I'm just kind of like trying to get a hold of that. And then I've been focusing more on doing makeup and picking up more clients to try to just have like multiple forms of income. And then still focusing on the collective meetings and ideally trying to find like a space and hopefully in the next few months to be able to have a gathering for that meeting. And so it's just been kind of from every direction, just kind of working on focusing on bettering myself, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got your new career, you've got the collective, and you've got your makeup that are
Mhm.
all, different revenue streams, which was one of your goals, right? You wanted to be making more money and be more financially successful,
Yeah,
which you're
absolutely.
working towards, which is awesome. So, what would you say was your hesitation? Like when we first started talking 6 months ago, when you were considering taking the program, was there any hesitation in joining? Was it financial or time or anything like that?
I think both. The financial aspect that's always something that's like on my mind, which is why like in the whole grand scheme of things, I was super like I need to be making more money. But I mean, the investment already paid off, so that's something that I would do it again. When you know you're investing in yourself, and then the time aspect, like I think it was more like I had the time. I was just as soon as I shut my computer off at 5, I was done for the day and I didn't really have anything productive to do.
Mm,
It was more like, was I going to take it seriously at that point in time? Because I was nervous that I was gonna like get, frustrated and like I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no clue. So I was nervous that I was gonna get frustrated and then kind of like give up and be like, I'm just gonna go bartend. And then once, I was able to go full time and then see all the work that I was doing, I was like, I'm definitely gonna continue to do this. And Um, so those fears were very quickly uh, torn down. Yeah.
Great. So, what would you say to somebody who's considering, who's on the fence about, do I do this? Do I not do this? Is this the right investment? I'm not sure hiring a coach is a good fit for me. What would you say to them?
To do it. I mean, I would say do it. You, especially if you're unsure or you're in a place where you thought was something that you wanted and then turned out not to be something that you wanted. And then you're like, well, I don't want to keep changing. Well, the fact of it, sometimes like these things are changing. And so like you need guidance. Sometimes you need to hear another opinion. That's, for me personally, it was my parents like, oh, you need to like get a real job and all this stuff. And that like, it drove me crazy because I was content bartending and doing customer service jobs, but I didn't feel fulfilled. So if there's something missing, it doesn't hurt at all. And you're going to find something about yourself or your professional life that you didn't know was there, as you're constantly changing and growing.
Love it. Thank you. So, if Cynthia's story is inspiring, or you see yourself in her story, and seeing possibilities for yourself and for your future, then I would love to invite you to a brief 15-minute brainstorming call with me where we can, talk about your career ambitions. We can, look at the obstacles that are stopping you and slowing you down from getting what you really want, and we can start turning those obstacles into projects, and you'll walk away with a game plan. So if I'm going to invite you to that. And if you go to purposefuldrivencareers.com, just complete a short application, and then you'll be directed to my online calendar where you can book our call. And so I really, really look forward to speaking with you, Cynthia. Thank you for your time. It's been so awesome working with you. And yeah, and
Thank
my
you.
name you're welcome. Such a pleasure. And we still have another session though. So and my name is Kori Burkholder, reminding you to take action, feel the fear, and do it anyways.